And right now we will have a panelist discussion. I would like to introduce Mr. Trương Quốc Hùng, founder and CEO of Phiên Việt Nam, will be moderate with a co-moderate chairman, panelist discussion with Dr. Professor Phạm Thông, Mr. Gregory Moore from the USA, Mr. Trương Quốc Hùng, and Jaya Ratnam from Singapore. Thank you.
So it's a very honor for me to be the co-moderator with Professor Phạm Thông. He's the president of, the Vietnamese Society of Radiology and Nuclear Medicine in Vietnam. To join us for the panelists today, we have a distinguished panelist. So first, I want to introduce Professor Curtis Langlotz. Professor Langlotz is the Stanford professor in, well-known in the world. And he have an intensive experience in radiology. He also the co-founder of AI for Medical Imaging Institute at the Stanford, together with Andrew Ng. It's the #4 AI in the world. And he also the president of RSNA, the biggest, healthcare conference in the world. So welcome him to the panelists. Second, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jaya Ratnam, the Singapore ambassador of Vietnam. And last but not least, Professor Gregory Moore is a former vice president of Microsoft Health and Google Health. Thank you. We also have a distinguished guest today, Mr. Hồ Kỳ Minh, the vice, the vice chairman of Đà Nẵng People Committee. Dr. Trần Thanh Thủy, the director of Đà Nẵng Department of Health. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Hùng, chairman of Sovico Vietjet Group. And Dr. Vũ Đình Thức, PhD at Stanford. So now I think we go directly to the panelists. So first, the integration of AI into healthcare is no longer of an if, but how quickly and how effectively we can get it done faster and better for Vietnam and the world. Today, we will explore the practical solution and hear the expert to introduce about the AI adoption, to talk about what experience that they run through, and we will break into 3 questions. Okay, so the first question is about, from your unique perspective, how do you see AI transforming the way we approach medical treatment and the hospital management today? So first, I probably will ask Dr. and Professor Curtis Langlotz to share your thought on this.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you across the ocean. And I guess I would answer this question by looking out at the AI applications that are being used today Many of them are detection algorithms, detecting pneumonia, detecting nodules, detecting hemorrhage in the brain. And there's some value to those, but they also can slow the radiologist down if they detect false positives that the radiologist then needs to attend to and decide whether they're true or false. So I think the trend will be toward algorithms that make us more efficient. And I tried to show some of those examples today. An algorithm that might draft a report automatically. And Stephen, I think you showed some of those as well. Or an algorithm that might help us measure lesions or quantify other information from the images. The other examples I showed that I think are likely to transform the way that we approach radiology is that some algorithms can extract information from images that we wouldn't normally extract, those kinds of opportunistic algorithms. So maybe measuring bone density or body composition from a CT scan, or measuring coronary calcium on a non-gated CT. So those are some of the ways that I think we'll see algorithms heading. And then, of course, I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk about all of the applications of large language models.
Thank you, Kurt. So first, I probably ask Dr. Rick Moore to share your perspective from, leadership in a big corporate like Microsoft and Google.
Sure. And I'll also express my thanks so much for the invitation to be here with you all today here virtually and again across the ocean, as Kurt said. It's a privilege to be with you all today, this morning there. So from my perspective, I really see AI fundamentally actually reshaping medical treatment and hospital management, really enabling a key shift from reactive to proactive care. We've seen, I think, in the presentations today that AI can harness these vast amounts of data to predict outcomes, optimize treatment plans, and the hospital management side, even streamline operations such as revenue cycle, staffing, human resources management, et cetera. So there's been some really significant breakthroughs there, and I see those trends continue to transform that. Certainly, as was mentioned already, AI does help in resource allocation management, improving patient flow, and these operational costs that I mentioned. And it's really this AI's ability to analyze complex data sets, whether they're medical data sets or operational data sets, in real time to allow both clinicians and managers to make more informed decisions. Ultimately, it's the hope, and I believe it will be the case, these will lead to better patient outcomes and more efficient healthcare delivery systems as we go forward. I think I'd answer it just that ultimately AI empowers healthcare systems to provide more personalized care, but to do that now at scale and to address, and in that case, address individual patient needs while I think managing population health for not only hospital systems, but for nations more effectively.
So next, I'll probably turn over to my co-moderator for the next question.
Okay, since we have the second question. What are the key trends and innovations in radiology and nuclear medicine that professionals should focus on over the next 5-10 years? For all the questions for all panelists. Professor Curtis?
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to start. So, of course, I would want to mention AI. That's why we're here today. And that is no doubt a key trend, maybe the key trend in radiology and nuclear medicine these days. Just thinking back to when I was training in AI many years ago, it took years and getting a PhD just to be able to build an algorithm that could detect something on an image. Now, with the right training data, we can build an algorithm in a day or a week that has far better performance than anything we built years ago. So there's no doubt that this is a transformative technology. It's just a matter of how and when it will be implemented. as I said in my talk, and I've written a lot about this, I don't believe it will replace us. And it's really about the human-machine partnership and thinking about what the strengths of the human visual perception system and the human cognitive system are, and what the strengths of the computer systems are, and how those will complement each other, and what kind of interfaces we want between human and machine to optimize that combination. I think there are some areas where AI will make significant changes in our practice. And I think screening, like mammographic screening, and even outpatient chest x-rays, where we're starting to see algorithms that can very accurately find studies that are clearly normal and don't need to be looked at by a human radiologist. And we're thinking about workflows that really magnify the efficiency of the radiologist without affecting the overall accuracy of the human-machine system. And I guess the other point I would make about AI is that all of us need to educate ourselves a little bit about how it works. And I tried to give you some information about that today. I make an analogy to MRI machines. When they first came out, radiologists had to learn quite a bit about the physics of MRI so that we would understand what a phase artifact looked like. So you had to know about the phase encoding direction of MRI in order to understand that might be an artifact rather than a liver mass, for example. And the same is true for AI. We all need to understand a little more about how they work so that we can understand when the algorithm might be leading us in the wrong direction. I'm really excited about how large language models will empower patients. So things like explaining reports that I showed in my talk. I'm excited about internet-based image exchange, just making all of our images available everywhere we may get our healthcare. And then lastly, one item that's maybe not AI that I also think will be a key trend, and that has to do with theranostics and molecular imaging, where we have radio tracers that can both find tumors, but then ultimately treat them as well. I think that's an incredibly important development. And there's so many new molecular imaging agents that are looking for diseases that we weren't able to detect in the past. So there's some of the key trends and innovations that I think will affect our profession in the next few years.
Professor Redmore?
Yes, I'd agree with everything my good friend Kurt has just mentioned. I'll just highlight a few things and add on. I think as we look at the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see very, very deep integration of these AI-driven diagnostic tools as well as workflow tools across radiology and I'd just say across all of imaging, diagnostic imaging, include pathology and other ologies. And in fact, I'd say across medicine. I think we're going to see the trends in precision medicine, which are really early now, continuing to play out as we go forward, and I think that'll involve the expansion of hybrid imaging modalities that started with PET CT and now PET MRI and then other hybrids as we go forward. I think that trend will continue as we go forward. I think as Kurt mentioned, AI is going to play and already is playing a critical role in image interpretation. I think we're going to see that expand. And importantly, I think that will reduce some variability in AI diagnostics, not only for patient care, but across clinical trials and ultimately, I think, accelerate workflow and really provide an important lever to increase access to care where there's shortages and in resource challenges areas. As Kurt mentioned, I see dramatic advancements in molecular imaging techniques to provide deeper insights at the cellular level, earlier disease detection. I think radiology will have a significant shift going forward as we become a confirmatory diagnostic rather than a initial diagnostic for many diseases, as blood-based diagnostics become the norm and imaging-based diagnostics become a confirmatory place in many areas. And we'll have to determine what does it mean to try to detect stage 0 disease and screen for that going forward when we have very accurate blood-based diagnostics. The adoption of cloud-based platforms, as Kurt mentioned, I think it allows us to share data, will accelerate research. But I think this, I'm excited about it facilitating collaboration across borders. We see it already happening between Stanford and Vietnam, as was highlighted today, but that's happening across the world. And I think that'll continue to expand and allow more representative data sets, as Kurt mentioned, was needed. I think it will also enhance access to expert opinions and diagnostics across borders, and I think enabling more comprehensive care for more under-researched areas in the world and underserved regions. And I think that's something I really look forward to, and we can look forward to over the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you, Professor Moore. Mr. Ratnam, as Singapore has been the forefront of technology adoption in healthcare among the Southeast Asia country, I wonder, how do you see the potential of the collaboration between Vietnam and Singapore in the development of AI technology for healthcare? The second question to you is, maybe you can share what is the opportunity you think that can make the bigger impact together between the two countries. Thank you. Jaya, look like you mute, so sorry. Can you repeat?
A very good morning to everybody. Can you hear me? I hope you all can hear me. I'm very pleased and excited to join all of you here today. I am neither an AI specialist or a doctor, so I will try to make my contributions as a policymaker and, more importantly, perhaps as a citizen, somewhat bewildered, confused, and sometimes a little bit suspicious about AI, especially as in its application in medicine, something so personal and yet so important to all of us. Let me first also congratulate VinBrain for all its breakthrough in making AI of practical use in medicine. I'm very excited to see where VinBrain would go. Let me speak a little bit about Singapore. For Singapore, the usage of AI in terms of our policy making, in terms of how we reach out to our citizens, in terms of how we help them, particularly in the medical field, is critical. But then I won't talk about the medical application of AI, but let me speak from the citizen's perspective. We believe that it's crucial for every Singaporean to upgrade and understand, upgrade their skills to understand the advances in AI and what it means for them. We think it's crucial that even as technology develops and we have more and more application in real life, that the citizens understand its impact on them and how they can relate to them and how it benefits them, and also how to mitigate some of the challenges. On technological side, we are looking at AI to address the needs and the challenges of our times in areas of global importance, be it health, be it climate change. On health, for example, we have Project Pensieve, which looks at how technology can spot early signs of dementia. Our GovTech is piloting a Project Pensieve, which is a screening tool that seeks to detect signs of dementia by analyzing users' drawings. But AI's role in transforming medical treatment and hospital management is really profound, offering opportunities to enhance patient care, improve operational efficiency, and reduce costs. All of this matter not just to Singapore, but all of us around the world. But it also brings careful considerations, which is where policymakers come in, particularly in areas around data, privacy, ethics, equitable access to AI-driven healthcare. How can we address all of that? Singapore and Vietnam are complementary in so many ways. And our relationship is such that we are at a level in which there's sufficient trust for us to work with each other on areas such as AI-driven healthcare solutions. So I'm very, very comfortable in saying that this is one area in which we both seek breakthroughs to make. This is an area in which both of us clearly benefit in our complementary nature. Singapore's advanced R&D capabilities can complement Vietnam's growing tech talent pool. One of the areas that we could perhaps look at is joint research initiatives focusing on AI applications in healthcare, such as disease predictions, personalized treatment plans, and medical imaging. Collaborative projects are key to making sure that we build up the trust on both sides so that we can move ahead. Another area is data, which has been referred to, is data sharing. It again comes back to trust and aligned regulatory standards between the two countries so that we can create shared data sets for healthcare research. This could involve the pooling of anonymized patient data to improve the training of AI algorithms, leading to more accurate diagnostics and treatment recommendations. A third area in which both of us can work together is, of course, talent exchange and training. Both our institutes of higher learning are actively involved in these areas of and leading the way forward. And I think there's great potential for us to work together on this. Basically, I see tremendous potential in working with each other in these areas, but clearly there is a need to ensure a degree of regulatory convergence between and alignment between Vietnam and Singapore to facilitate this. And finally, a need of trust between policymakers and citizens to allow the sharing of such data sets, but especially between our two countries. Thank you very much, Stephen.
Thank you, Jaya. So I'd like to make the closing remark. So first and foremost, thank you, our panelists, for their valuable insight. It's clear that while there is challenges in adoption of AI in healthcare, the potential benefit of it far outweigh the challenges. With the collaboration, trust, and strategic planning, we can accelerate AI adoption and transform healthcare for the better patient outcome. I want to make the last statement, but not least, is, stand for particular the organization under Professor Curtis Langlotz have been helping Vietnam and have been working closely with VinBrain. Every month we have a meeting, and in the last more than 4 years. So this is a very honor to have that supportive from the top-notch university and institute. And second, I also honor to mention like Dr. Gregory Moore. He's also the independent board director of VinBrain. He's have been, guidance and give me the mentorship and as well the guidance for the VinBrain. And last but not least is Mr. Jaya, Ratnam, the ambassador of Singapore and Vietnam, is always keen to build a collaboration and stronger collaboration between Singapore and Vietnam. So let's make applause and really appreciate all of the top leader in the world that's supporting our Vietnam for the medicine. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we close the session here and we move to the,
Thank you.
To the next session. Thank you.
Nice to see you, Greg. Bye-bye.
See you, Kurt. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Been too long. We should catch up soon.
Catch up soon. Yeah. Take care.